today we are here with Tim Joe, and I'm only saying your full name, 'cause it's your full name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll call you just Tim. You probably know him from Reasonable Doubt, and we're just going to talk about a little bit about everything. This is for our February issue of the Lifestyle Stylist, our love issue. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You have just the most amazing look, so I had to have you. You said you're shy in front of the camera. He's not, by the way, at all. He's a natural. I feel like I didn't have to work at all with you. Like you turn. I was like, okay, well, I was just telling him what to put on. He got
Thank
it.
you.
So thank you for that.
Of course.
So let's start from the beginning. Where you're from, how many siblings you have, if any. Where did the acting career start from? Blah blah blah. Let's go from there. So where are you from? Where are you born and raised?
Born and raised in Texas.
And what part of Texas?
A small city called Mesquite is where I was raised.
Okay, wait. Hold 1 second. I meant to say we ended up eating before this came on because they were filling with the camera and we were hungry. But our plates are clean. We had mashed potatoes and fried catfish. Everybody loved it. I wish we could have gotten on camera.
Delicious. The best catfish I've ever had. The only first time I've ever had fried catfish, and might be the last because I don't think I'll ever have fried catfish this good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No lie. I'm being honest. It was like very airy, very delicious.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, back to you.
Yeah.
Mesquite.
Born and raised in Mesquite, Texas. One of those neighborhoods where we were the only Asian, only Korean family in miles, for miles. I grew up with an older sister. The younger sister came 11 years later.
Oh wow. Okay.
So a bulk of those first 11 years was just me, my older sister, mom and dad in Mesquite. Then we moved to Dallas, and then we moved a lot because my dad was in oil.
Okay.
So we moved, this jumping around a little on the timeline, but we moved from Mesquite to Dallas to Houston to Aurora, Colorado, to Poland, Warsaw, Poland in Europe.
Really?
Back to Houston, Texas, and then I went to school in San Antonio and then moved to LA.
So I love Texas, obviously. I moved around a lot in Texas.
Yeah.
Did you love it, or it's just what it was?
It is what it was, but I think I do love growing up a Texan.
Okay.
I think there's something about learning about Southern hospitality, just the way you carry yourself as a Texan is what I've learned is a little different than what a New Yorker is like or what a Californian is like. So I do appreciate what it meant to be a Texan and growing up in Texas. But it was tough because growing up in Texas also meant I was the only person that looked like me, which wasn't a struggle really until, because when you're a kid you don't know.
Yeah.
Until you start getting teased about it. You start feeling ostracized because of it. Like even when I moved to LA when I was 22, I remember driving through K-Town, Koreatown, and I couldn't take my eyes off the streets because I was like, I can't believe there are Korean people walking on the sidewalk. I was shocked that there were Korean people on the sidewalk because in Texas, I'd only see them at church.
Got it.
So to see people on the sidewalk was insane. So that's how sheltered of a sort of that kind of life I was living in Texas.
I don't know if I want to. Would you call it shelter? Because I mean, I feel like LA is just where everybody can feel like themselves. People come here to feel like themselves. You know what I mean? You have all the different communities here. Even they have Little Ethiopia, Koreatown, Chinatown, every little nook and cranny you can think around here. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I got a taste of what I suppose like a colorblind society or community would be like was when I moved to Europe.
Okay.
Yes. And I went to an American school there.
Okay.
And when I went to the American school there, I was from the States. I wasn't Korean. There were Koreans there, but I was from the States.
You're
and
American.
I was an American. So, I had friends that were Polish, I had friends that were American, I had friends that were Swedish, Norwegian. But we were all sort of more known by our countries,
Because
but
no one cares.
no one cares.
No
Yeah.
one cares.
So then I felt maybe in the healthiest way like what it was to be colorblind.
Yeah.
I was more known to be specific because I liked skateboarding and punk music.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, he's cool. He
Right.
likes skateboarding and punk music. So then when we moved back to Houston, I had seen the actual world and how diverse it was.
Yeah.
And when I moved back to Texas, I had this mentality of like, ooh, like I'm a little cooler than people thought I was.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see what kind of friendships I'll make. And what happened is I moved back to Texas and I was sort of put back on the shelf of being the quiet Korean kid.
You're the Korean kid
Yeah.
instead of just
It was
being a
strange.
person.
Or I let myself be put back there.
Yeah.
Which I think was a pretty big culture shock for me. Yeah.
That's why I always tell people to, if you can travel because it's the biggest teacher. Like, I mean, school is great and everything, but if you travel, I feel like you learn so much more.
Yeah.
Because people will tell you one thing about a country and you go there, it's like, no, they're nothing like that.
Yeah.
I went to Ireland this past year, last October, and sadly to say, I felt maybe too comfortable there. Like, I've been to Europe before, and it was fine, but I just felt like no one cares what you look like there. They really don't. They make you feel very comfortable. They were just the nicest people ever, and they love to drink. They really do.
Yeah.
But it was. I love the country. Like, I never would have thought Ireland was that bomb. It was bomb. It was beautiful, and I want to go back. Just the culture itself was amazing. They're the nicest people ever. So no, they weren't looking at the color of my skin there. I was just Shelly.
Yeah.
And then you come back to the States and you got to deal with the bullshit again. Oh, well, I'm Shelly, but I'm also a black woman. You know what I mean? So, and not to say we have some work to do here in America. I'll just say
Yes.
that.
It's just, like, I had my own issues being an Asian guy growing up in Texas.
Yeah.
But I think me being an Asian guy and an artist in my heart in Texas is what led me to become an actor. Had I been this artist that was growing up in Korea, I don't think I would have done art.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I would have done acting.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know if I would have expressed myself through art.
Okay.
I might have been a hidden artist.
Right.
So I am grateful for my experiences growing up that led me here. But when I was 16, my mom made me go to Korea with our church.
Okay.
And I remember throwing a fit because I was like, I don't have any Korean friends. I barely speak Korean. Like, I'm not that close with the kids at my church. Why? I don't want to go. But then she made me go, so the night before I left, I shaved devil horns into my head.
Damn.
I was a little punk, so I cut my hair all the time. So I made these little devil horns, and then we got on a flight. We went to Korea, and almost immediately I realized, as we were like walking around like a mall or a public area, like these older women would always be like, "Oh, look at this good-looking young man, come over here," or something. I'm like, why keep calling me good-looking? I've got these devil horns. And then they sent us to this private school, like an all-girls school, to just like tour the school. And the girls were so excited and thought that I was so cute. So I was like, in what universe am I an attractive person? Like, in this country, they think I'm attractive. Like,
I love Americans, I think, right?
And so with that strange, getting like a new focus, I went back to the States and I was like, I'm hanging out with the wrong people. I need to hang out with some people that actually think that I'm actually as cool as what those Koreans thought I was.
It makes a difference,
and
right?
it just gave me like a crazy boost of confidence.
Absolutely, I love that. Now, how would you say, what made you want to get into acting? What sparked that? Was it just a birth thing, like I was born to do this, or where did it come about?
I do think it was maybe a lot of my life experiences of even the culture shock of seeing the world coming back and then feeling like I sealed my own lips shut when I moved back to Texas.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I am the quiet guy. I'm just gonna be quiet and still skateboard and play punk music and do whatever, but I'm humans are all born artists. And it's just
I agree with that.
it's just how you express yourself and what level of desire do you have to express it, and how are you going to express it.
Right.
So my level of expression was, I think, must have been out of here, because I shut this down so severely for so long that maybe it was only like 3 years of me getting really silent after moving back to the States.
Okay.
I jumped into an acting class in college. And in that acting class I realized this isn't like, I didn't glue it shut, it's a zipper. So when I go to acting class, I can zipper this open and I've got no fear. And it's strange, like I didn't know that I even was able to do that. I didn't know that was under there. So that's where I think the passion was born, or like, not even a passion, I was just like, holy moly, like, why am I not living that life instead? And then I think in a very naive way, as I was failing college classes left and right, I was like, the only class I'm getting an A in is acting.
Okay.
And the only one that I'm getting encouragement that I am doing well is acting. Maybe that just needs to be my career. And with that really naive thought, I pushed that for, to where I am today, which was, and to be fair, yes, I got some early encouragement from professors that really planted a seed in me.
Okay.
But overall, I was a horrible actor. So nobody was telling me to act. My parents knew nobody was telling me, like, you're really good at this, you need to do this. It just took one person to say, I believe in you, for me to be like, I don't care what anyone else says.
That's it.
This one person believed in me, and I'm going to make it come true.
Now, what if you were the only person, you were that one person that believed in you? Do you think you would have moved forward?
I think, I still got to give credit to that one professor that was like, Tim, I want you to do acting too. I think you are opening. Maybe she just saw that I was like a quiet person that was opening up in class, and she wanted to encourage me to take another acting class. But without those little encouragements, I don't know if I would have had the courage. But like I said, it only takes one person to like make you change the entire trajectory of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank God it was a great example of someone changing your life. But you only need that one person. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else can just F off. I'm trying to keep my language to a minimum.
Well, I mean, I've had plenty of times when people tried to tear me down.
Absolutely.
And it would have, should have, and could have torn me down and taken me off my path. But those first maybe 15 years of my career, they were a lot of the fuel, I'll say. They were the fuel of like, every win I get, they're some of the first few faces that scroll through my head.
Right.
Not so much anymore. I think with I don't know how long I would have been able to sustain a career off of, not revenge, but just trying to prove people wrong.
Yeah, because who needs that?
But it did, maybe for a little too long. It was my battery for a long time, but I would say for the last, 5 to 8 years, the battery has been, it keeps changing, but it's either family or now it's almost back to square one. It's like, where's my artistry? So that's what's fueling me now, is like, you started as an artist, you became a professional, a craftsman, a booker, someone that knows how to book the job and make money and be consistent with that,
right.
But somewhere within that space you lost the art. So I'm almost back to square one. I'm like, where's that art?
Where did you go to college? Was it in Texas or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went to a school called Trinity University.
Okay.
It was in San Antonio, and it was a small private college. And so I think the only reason I was able to get my foot in the door of the theater department was because it was a tiny school.
Okay.
If it was a bigger school, I wouldn't have, had any chance to get into any of the plays or get into that community.
Now, when did you get to LA? Was that your first move after college, was LA? Or first of all, did you finish college? I know you said you were failing. Did you finish college? Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And then you came straight here after college, or what did that look like?
Well, I was gonna pursue an MFA.
Okay.
Only because I didn't know what. I said I wanted to be an actor, but I was terrified of the moving to LA part.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me go audition for graduate schools, and got into a graduate school and had my entire next 4 years planned out, which was, it wasn't even planned out. It was more of just like, how long can I put off the actual move to LA? But that school ended up changing their mind on me last minute, which was very not cool, especially for this very sensitive guy that was so scared of becoming an actor to begin with, or choosing it as a career. And so when I got that rejection, I just partied with my friends. And I'm not a partier, but for those 3 months, I became a guy that was like, I'm going out every weekend. And it culminated on Good Friday weekend. My mom said, don't go out this weekend, it's Good Friday. I said, I'm gonna go out. Like, I made plans, I'm going out. That night, my friends and I got jumped.
Oh, did you?
Well, jumped as in like we were just victims of the violence. I got a bat to my head and it's cracked my skull open.
What jumped means you got your ass beat.
And that moment, like, to cut the story short, was a beautiful moment. It was more of just a wake up call of like, hey, you're not meant to be partying in Houston, Texas. you're meant to be somewhere else. So after that happened, my mom gave me the blessing to say, I think you should just get out of Texas. I think you should move to LA. And that's when I moved to LA. Told my parents, I think what I've read is that it takes 10 years to get a career in this industry.
Right.
It might be 10 years that I might need to get into a commercial or even get on a show, but can I get your moral and, let's be honest, some financial support? And they gave me their blessing. I moved out to LA, and 10 months later, I was on set of a studio feature.
Wow, I love that.
Like with Lisa Kudrow and Vanessa Hudgens at the time. She was at like a peak at the time. Yeah, so that's crazy how things like that work out.
It is, because it's not about what people say, it's about your timing, and no one can tell you when your timing is. So it can be 10 months, 5 months, 10 years, 5 years, it could be whatever it is, whatever the universe, God, whatever it says it's supposed to be, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But obviously it can take some time in LA, especially to really get going, but the fact that you got something like that when you first got here, it's amazing.
This is the best and the worst thing. It's the worst because I remember sitting on set very specifically. We ended up shooting that movie in Austin, so I moved back for a couple months and lived in Austin while we shot that movie. And I remember sitting in the chair looking at the craziest cameras and the number. It was the only studio feature I've ever done. Okay. So it was an enormous amount of money and excesses. And I remember thinking, I was so unhappy. I wasn't ready for this moment. Or I got this moment too early. I'd rather be back in class.
Okay.
And yeah, it's sad to think about that, because I was like, I just feel like that blessing of a moment came a little too soon for me.
Do you feel that way because you felt like people would think that, or that was in your own head? You know what I mean? Like, he came out here and he got this role already, and I've been doing it for blah, blah, blah.
You know, I think there were, interactions during that whole time. Like, not everybody was kind to me. I was so green, so there's no reason for anyone to be very nice to me.
We should be nice to people regardless. We're all green at some point.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just a challenging time. Like, what an incredible opportunity to be in a feature film that went to theaters. And but after that ended, I remember just being sort of, I want to say depressed, but in a slump. It's like, where do I go from here?
Got it.
Like, I'm so green. I know I'm green. I'm a horrible actor. I don't know how I got to this position. Where do I go from here? And I think it was like maybe a year later, I was walking like a mile to go to an audition to say one word or one sentence, and I remember thinking, I'm excited, and I was like, I'm back, baby. Like, this is what I wanted. I wanted to really journey for it. I needed, something about that first blessing. Mm-hmm. It was truly God's gift to say, Tim, here's a little bit of financial security so that you can struggle now. and then I struggled, I did.
Now, what was the name of that movie?
That movie's called Band Slam.
Band Slam?
Band Slam.
Band Slam. Mm-hmm. Band Slim.
Slam.
Band Slam.
Yeah, a terrible name. The whole marketing of that movie was a big deal, but it was a huge thing. But
did you have a big part in it? Because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I was like maybe number 8 on the call sheet.
Okay.
So for your first gig ever, I was part of the main cast. So it was.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So at that point, you hadn't even done any background work yet?
I had done maybe 4 years of industrial films and commercials in Texas. So while I was when I was in college, I had an agent in Austin that I sought out, and I was chasing it hard in Texas. That's how, when I say my parents knew I wasn't a good actor, is like they saw like the things I was doing. They came to my place. They drove 2 hours from Houston, or 3 or 4 hours from Houston to San Antonio to see me say like one line in our town. Things like they saw it all.
You gotta start somewhere.
And they never said don't act.
I think those are great parents though, because my parents didn't understand what it was I really wanted to do. Yeah. But they never told me not to go for it. They were like, okay, go. Let's, see it. And my mom was like, I didn't really understand what you were doing or how you were really going to do it, but I never told you not to go. I was like, you didn't. You never said that. They were always encouraging to do what it is you wanted to do. But now they get it. It's like, you actually made a career out of this. I did. Yeah. And I knew I could. It's just that you don't know because you don't have anyone telling you that to do it, because they don't know. They see it on TV, but they don't think anybody in their circle, is supposed to do anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was scared too to just go to school for fashion. I wanted to, but I didn't know what that looked like. So I just went to school for marketing. I went to school in North Carolina for marketing. And then after I went back home in Indiana, I was commuting back and forth to Chicago to go to school for fashion. I didn't finish.
The school that rejected me was Purdue.
Really?
Screw Purdue. Just kidding.
Purdue?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Was it...
But anyways, continue.
No, because it's Purdue. There is a Purdue in... Well, I'm from Gary, but Purdue is like in... Ooh, forgive me if I'm wrong. Is it not Highland? I
never got to find out where it was.
But there's another Purdue in... is it Indianapolis? I think it's Indianapolis. Whatever. Anyway, I'm sorry that they didn't.
No. It's a gift. It's a gift.
But yeah, so after I waited for my then boyfriend, then became a fiance, to finish law school, we moved to LA because I wanted to, broke, but I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta figure out if I can do this. Just came and did it, and 20 years later, I'm here. So I say that all to say is, you have great parents. They didn't tell you couldn't. Go, if you feel like you need to do this, go figure out if you can do it. Yeah. If you so-called failed at it, you tried, you're still here. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's great that you have encouraging parents like that, like I did.
It's almost like even before, I was having a really tough time right before Reasonable Doubt. Okay. Because I was going through another slump in the career. Nothing was happening. I was broke. And I had a young child, and I felt like mentally I'm capable, physically I'm capable of anything right now. I'm at the peak. Why am I sitting here wasting my youth? I was not young, but my abilities waiting for opportunities that may or may not come. Right. That was like maybe 15 years into a career where I never pressed the brake. But at that moment, I was like, I need to press the brake. I've got a family I got to raise now.
I gotta figure it out.
And it was my parents that were like, you can't quit. You cannot quit.
I love that.
And that conversation led to me not quitting acting, but I called my entire team, told them I'm
You're shifting to a new
shifting.
team.
Oh no, shifting my career path.
Got it.
I said I'm not quitting. Maybe I'll act when I get in my 40s, but for now and until I call you, don't call me. And I took a job at my church.
Okay.
And there was one stipulation. They said, fine, no co-stars, no. I was like, nothing. They said, what if it's a series regular that shoots in LA? I said, if you want to email me a series regular audition that shoots in LA, I promise I'll audition for that, but nobody call me. I need to go raise my family. And then like 3 months later, I get this email.
Really?
And it's
That
from Reasonable
fast?
Doubt. And I told my wife, the character's a nerd. And she's like,
The cute nerd.
she said, promise is a promise. And I was like, all right, let's tape it. So we
Aw.
taped it, and that's the job that became Reasonable Doubt.
Wow, I love that. That's a good segue into Reasonable Doubt because that's
Yeah.
what everybody wants to hear. I love that. So only 3 months you went to work for your church, and then you got.
Well, then I was working at church the whole time
Got
we
it.
shooting season
Okay.
1.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We
Yeah.
gotta do what we gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 months in, you're working to church, and then you get the call or the email first about Reasonable Doubt, and you got that role.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I met Tim. Was at Reasonable Doubt season 1.
Yeah.
I got to work on season 1. It was amazing time. We had so much fun.
We did.
We worked our asses off. I'm gonna tell you that. But it was so much fun working with you guys. Like one of the best cast crew that I've ever worked with. How do I say it? Do you tell me about it? Like when you got the role, did you have a fear about it? Because they wanted to cast a Korean American guy, right?
Right.
Were you nervous about this role? Like, was it different from anything else you've ever played?
I had a friend call me. His name's Neil Brown Jr., amazing, incredible actor. He called me and said, you ever worked for black people before? He said, congratulations, Ronald's my friend. You ever worked for black people? I'm like, no. He said, you ever been on a black set? I'm like, no. He's like, you're gonna love it, and they're gonna love you. And when I got to set, Reasonable Doubt, it's the most different set I've ever felt on. It was just warm.
Yeah.
And that's when I started throughout the season being like, playing a nerd for this community and this crew and this story is way different than playing it for the white person, for the white show.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge thing.
I
Like,
love that.
I wouldn't play Daniel for a different kind of show.
Okay.
But for Reasonable Doubt, it's a gift. And they're not laughing at me
No.
for being Daniel. And the embrace that I've gotten not only from my colleagues but also online, I'm like, oh, they don't. Like black people love Daniel.
Yes,
and
we do.
What a gift. And that's something that I had to like recognize that I didn't know before, because had I played this character like in a white show, Asian people would have eaten me up. They would have wanted to cancel me. Cancel this
The
guy
cancel
playing
culture, got
this
it.
character, with the very few shots that we got on TV. Why are you playing that character?
Yeah. I think it's because it's similar kind of like we know what it's like to be teased. We know what it's like not to be wanted around, or
Yeah.
you're not this good, you're not good enough for this or this or that. So we get it. So we're warm about it and we welcome you.
Yeah.
And I think I just thought you were dope, and it was nice to see you playing that character, and you just embodied it. And the way that the designer at the time had dressed you, like everybody has their character, and it comes to life in the clothes. Like, give us our props because costumes gives life to a character. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But we knew exactly who your character was by the way you dressed. You were that nerd, but you were a very handsome nerd, and you just embodied the whole character. It made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It totally made sense, and it wasn't a joke. Like
Yeah.
I don't think at least I didn't. We didn't look at you as a joke. It was
Yeah.
very much like he killed this. He does a great job with that.
And so I think all of season 1 was me getting comfortable and embrace and loving Daniel.
Yeah.
Everyone else loves Daniel except for me, baby.
Okay.
So all of season 1, I was like, love the guy. Like, why are you so tough on him?
Yeah. We love, like, me and Y used to talk about you all the time. Like, just like, you know, we're in there, we're in costumes, so we're getting the clothes. We were set costumers. I was set costumer for this season, and we have to, you know, prep everything. So to get to see what you wear, like, oh my God, this is dope. I love this. The shoes, like, it all just made sense for the character. All went together,
Yeah.
and I wanted to go out and actually buy some of the stuff and dress like you because I just thought it was really dope. It was very well put together.
Yeah.
So.
No, season 1, like, I'd get something and be like, ooh, what is this? And
Yeah.
I Google it. I'm like, $700.
Exactly.
I can't afford any of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it looked amazing,
Yeah.
though. So, how would you say Daniel has evolved from season 1 to now season 2?
I don't. It's hard for me to be objective on how he's evolved, like story wise.
Okay.
But the evolution of what I want, how I'm approaching the character, has definitely evolved from 1 to 2, and then what I want to do from 2 to 3.
Okay.
1 was like embracing him, fully loving him, instead of judging him and trying to not be a nerd. I was like,
Right.
embrace him. Nerd is such a heavy word for minorities
Right.
to want to own.
Correct.
So I was like, nerd is great, you know? And I think for season 2, I came to the place where I was like, I actually wrote it down. I said, what is a nerd? And why am I resisting it so much? And I was like, to nerd out about things or to be a nerd about something means you're just extremely passionate about it. And I was like, this is a passionate dude.
Exactly.
What's wrong with being a passionate dude?
Nothing. But someone told you before, when you were younger, that it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Are you a nerd?
Yeah, if you're Asian and you're a nerd, if you're good at math, it's, you know, nobody wants Asian nerds. I didn't become an actor to put more nerds on TV. I became an actor because I wanted people to know that we're more than the nerd.
Right.
But hey, there's Daniel, and the gift of what Daniel came to season 2 was like, if I'm gonna play this character, I need to own up to it. I need to be proud of it, and I need to love him.
Absolutely.
Love him so that I can get into him.
Exactly.
So season 2 was really more about giving the kid a hug and just letting him play and letting him be himself more, which, if I could make it more specific, meant when I showed up to set, I allowed myself to, with Ramal's permission, to be a little more loose and to live in the world a little more freely.
Okay.
To tell myself there's no rules when I get on set. And that was in a way of just saying, Daniel, you can. Everyone else here is like needs to sort of play by the rules, but Daniel, you go be you, and have fun. And then so, by season 3, what I'd like to do is.
Yes, that's a season 3. If you didn't hear.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a single script.
Okay.
I would like. Behind every clown, happy clown, there's a sad clown, or not everybody who's always light and happy is light and happy at home. I'd love to see more colors in the character,
Okay.
Ones that aren't always pushing the Daniels. Even in scenes that I would watch in season 2, I'm like, I didn't have to turn that into a joke, Tim. Why'd you turn that into a joke? Those could be like good moments, and like. So dig deeper into Daniel's heart and why he's so happy and why he's so silly and kind. Go a little deeper into the roots of why he's that
there's
way.
Something there.
Yeah, there's
why.
something there.
I love that.
So that's where I would like the character to continue to evolve.
Got it. Let's step a bit back. Who are you playing actually in Reasonable Doubt? Like for people who don't watch the show, who is Daniel? Who are you playing?
I am a private investigator for the main character, Jack Stewart, and I'm basically her eyes and ears to go find out all the information, to get all the details on that she can't get otherwise. So I do all the work for her. And I think the important thing to know is like Jax, she's in this, she's a partner at this predominantly white law firm, and she's got her game face. She's a tough, strong woman, but ironically, she's surrounded herself with these two coworkers that she loves and trusts, Crystal and Daniel. Crystal's a secretary. I call her like the cat to my dog.
Okay.
So I'm like the puppy dog, and she's like the cat. Crystal's the cat. So Jax had like our little triumvirate, our little tripod. Tough Jax, like little cute silly Daniel, and then tough as nails Crystal.
Okay.
And that's how we function in the world of that office.
I love it. So, anything else you want us to go to Reasonable Doubt? You want us to know about Reasonable Doubt before we jump?
No, I think.
How did you like working with Morris Chestnut? Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I think the thing that I wish every actor could witness is if you work with someone like Morris Chestnut, with that kind of resume that he has, with what level of celebrity he is, everyone deserves to go see how he operates on set, because you're like, oh wait, he operates like the most gentleman of gentlemen, the most professional of professionals, the kindest of souls. He likes to listen to your stories more than tell you stories. Like, he's just like, but when you're like, oh, so when you get to the very top like that, maybe this is why he's at the top. Like, he's just a good man, and you don't see that all the time. But when you don't see that all the time with you almost never see that with people on the top. You see that people.
That's not true. I feel like.
We both have stories. But it's like a lot of times it's like the people that are in the middle struggling.
Yeah.
That may struggle with the ups and downs of how to carry yourself.
Yeah.
But, with someone like, let's say, Emma Yahtzee, who's our lead, and Morris, when you have leaders that are that lead with their heart, lead with kindness on set, you're like, okay, like, gotta get in line. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Correct, because she's such a beautiful soul. I had so much fun working with her on set.
That last night was one of the highlights. The very last day of season 1. It was me, you, and
yes, in the trailer.
And she was rapping.
Yes, I remember that. We have to show.
She was freestyling.
She did.
Yeah.
If we can, maybe we can put it on this video so people can see. I forgot about that. We were in the trailer. We had some wine.
Yeah.
She was rapping. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And whatchamacallit was there too. I can't think of his name right now.
Second.
The guy, the actor guy, the white guy.
Cass.
Yes, I love me some Cass. He was there too. It was a great time.
It was a good time.
That was the final night. Yeah. Oh my God. One final thing, I think. Has there been a character that you want to play that you haven't played yet? Like, where do you see your career going from here?
I don't know if it's really a character that I haven't played. But a responsibility that I haven't held before is to be the story. I've told a lot of stories. I've been a part of people's stories, but I haven't had many or any opportunities to be the story.
I love that. It's coming for you.
So that's actually probably my main desire as I continue down this career is I'd like the responsibility of carrying a story. And when you when I say, when you see how heavy that burden and that weight is, when you see Emma Yahtzee doing it with a child, with a husband, and an entire crew and millions of dollars standing on your shoulders, that's a very heavy responsibility. And sometimes I look at that and I'm like, would I operate with that much grace and humor and kindness?
I think you would. It's who you are.
But that is something that I would love to do, is to be the story.
Then you will.
I've told many stories. I'd like to be the story.
Then it's coming. You want it, you got it. You can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not?
Yeah.
I love that. Is there anything else you want the people to know about Tim?
No, I don't think anything other than you're blessed when you get yourself into a career path that allows you to be in a space with loving friends and eating some of the best fried catfish and mashed potatoes you could ever have prayed for.
Thank you. Tell them again.
So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I thank you so much for being here, for saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody don't say yes.
Only for you, Shelly.
See?
Only for you. One thing I want to let people know is I'm terrified of the camera. So.
But you can't tell. Oh my God!
Still
you're
scared
amazing.
of it.
You're
Still scared of
amazing
it.
in front of the camera.
Still scared. Yeah.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again for being here. Good luck. I know you don't need it with season 3.
I need it all.
Okay.
I need it
all. The
Thank
love
you,
and praises
Thank
to
you.
you for season 3. I know you're gonna start filming soon, but you
Yeah.
got this, and it's gonna be even greater.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us at the Table with Tim Joe.